Have you been thinking about relocating to Placerville, but you're trying to wrap your mind around the place, where everything is, what the different neighborhoods are, where the grocery shopping is, the hospital, all of those types of things? It's so hard when you're relocating to a new place from out of town to really wrap your mind around a place like that. If you've been wondering these things, then this video is for you. Today, I'm gonna give you a full map tour of the Placerville area. Starting at the 30,000 foot view, where's El Dorado County in the state of California? Where's Placerville inside El Dorado County? Then where's the city of Placerville versus the 95667 zip code? What a lot of people think of as Placerville is that quaint downtown where you stop and go to the restaurants and get some gas on your way to Tahoe to go skiing. But the 95667 zip code is much bigger than that and incorporates a much larger geographical area. So we're gonna go over all of that too. We'll drill down into all the services. Where's the hospital? Where's the downtown shopping? Where are the grocery stores? Where are some of the schools? All of that. And then we'll go through neighborhood by neighborhood, giving you price points for the homes, the feel of the neighborhood, and how it all fits together. By the end of this video, you should know pretty well where you want to land within Placerville. And if you do, then you can drill down into Placerville a little bit deeper with some of our other videos, either our pros and cons of Placerville videos, why I live in Placerville, or our town versus town comparison videos comparing Placerville to other towns. All right, let's get stuck right into the map. As usual, you're gonna have to excuse me a few glances to my side while I manipulate the map for you. So here we are at that 30,000 foot view of the state of California. And this shows you how you can always find El Dorado County, and it's right here where California makes a turn, where the dogleg is. That is how you know where El Dorado County is. If we zoom in just a bump or two, you'll see at that dogleg is this big blue dot, and that is Lake Tahoe. Right here, specifically South Lake Tahoe, is the eastern edge of El Dorado County. So that's how you can always find El Dorado County in the state of California. Just look for that dog leg and the blue dot, and right next to it is El Dorado County. All right, now looking at the full state map, I'll show you a couple of the areas where a lot of our folks relocate from. Putting El Dorado County at the top of the map, we get a ton of folks relocating from the San Francisco Bay Area and the South Bay, the San Jose area. I'm originally from San Jose myself. And then we get a ton of relocation clients from Southern California, here from LA down to San Diego. So you can see if you're coming from those areas and you're watching today, this is where you are in relation to El Dorado County. All right, now let's drill a little bit deeper. We'll click over to this map here, and you can see the city of Placerville. Now this is the smaller city area. You can see the outline here in red, but again, it is a much bigger geographic area beyond the city that still is considered Placerville in the 95667 zip code. So to put that into perspective for you, on this map, this is the entirety of the 95667 zip code. And that little red line might be hard for some of you to see. So we'll kind of run around 95667 in our yellow here. You get a feel for it. I failed drawing in school, so don't judge my real estate skills by my drawing skills. Here we go. That is the whole zip code of Placerville. Now to put that in perspective from the last map, here is the city of Placerville. So the city of Placerville area is much smaller compared to 95667. This goes all the way almost to Jenkinson Lake in Pollock Pines. People don't know that. There's Jenkinson Lake. Here's the Sierra Springs subdivision, which is pretty much the end of Pollock Pines. And just past Sierra Springs, there are neighborhoods that people up there consider to be Pollock Pines, but they're actually here within the Placerville zip code. And it goes all the way south down to the Somerset border down here where the zip code changes. So this is a massive area, and we're gonna go through all of the neighborhoods in here so you can get a feel for where you might wanna live within Placerville. Now look, right about now, you might be wondering who I am and why you should be listening to me about real estate or Placerville or anything at all, really, and that's a fair question. My name is Rich Curtis with EXP Realty, and I've been selling homes here in the Placerville area for nearly 20 years now, in markets ranging from the Great Recession to the COVID market insanity and everything in between. So when it comes to Placerville real estate, I've got you covered. My goal with this channel is to help you make the highest quality real estate decisions you can from the comfort of your couch. So to that end, let's get right back into the map video so you can see if Placerville is for you. All right, let's click back to our city map and go through the services for you now. All the way into the city of Placerville, let's start with where's the hospital. That gives you a good sense of the heart of it and where it is in relation to downtown. So this little area here is downtown Main Street. This is our quaint Gold Rush era downtown, and here is Marshall Hospital, just outside of downtown. If you live anywhere in the downtown area, you have very close access to Marshall Hospital, which is great. Now, of course, this area here, our little Gold Rush downtown, it's been voted one of the best small town downtowns in America many, many times. We have Robinson's Pharmacy down there, which is the kind of place you can imagine having bought a lollipop for 10 cents 100 years ago. There is the oldest hardware store west of the Mississippi with Placerville Hardware. There's the Bookery, a little old bookstore that you'll want to get lost in forever, and so many great restaurants. It would take me forever in a video to name all of our wonderful businesses in downtown Placerville. But if you haven't been there, you owe it to yourself to go downtown Placerville and take a walk down Main Street. It literally feels like you're going back in time. If you want a better feel for that, check out my pros and cons of living in Placerville video. So that's our Main Street shopping area. This is our hospital. We have several great parks in town. Here's Lumsden Park. This is mostly more of a wilderness park. Lots of great biking and hiking trails in there. This is Rotary Park in downtown. Here's Lions Park. That's another great big park up there with baseball fields, a playground for the kids, and even a large disc golf course if you're into that. And then we have this little park down here, which is the downtown park near the post office right in downtown Placerville. Now, of course, you've got the shopping district in downtown Placerville. But that's not where you're going to do your daily shopping for the most part, except maybe the hardware store. That's more little boutiques and cool shops to go and stroll in, buy gifts, those sorts of things. But that's not where you're buying your groceries. So you're either going to go up here to the Upper Broadway area of Placerville, where there are a couple of grocery stores and a Rite Aid and a Starbucks and all of that sort of stuff, and some tire shops up there, or you're going to come down Placerville Drive out of downtown down here to Raley's. Now here at Raley's, this is one of our favorite grocery stores. Raley's started, if you have Raley's in your town, Raley's actually started here in Placerville, so this is the original store. But near Raley's is a big shopping district for Placerville. We have the Home Depot right here. We have a feed store right next to the Home Depot, which is great. Right across the street from those is Tom's Burger and Frosty's, best milkshake and soft serve ice cream in town. And then of course, when you cross the freeway from Raley's over to here, you've got an In-N-Out Burger, and you've got a couple of our car dealerships, including our big Toyota dealership down here. Now, where do the kids go to school in town? Well, right here in downtown, we do have the high school. So we'll show you where that is. Most of everybody in the 95667 is gonna go to high school in downtown Placerville, up Canal Street at El Dorado High School, and that is right here. So again, here's your downtown Main Street shopping district. There's the hospital, just to orient you, some things we've talked about. There's Rotary Park, and here is El Dorado High School. Just up the hill from that is Markham Middle School. So there are some of the schools in town to give you a sense. Everything, if you live in downtown, is real close. And we'll go through the neighborhoods in a minute, but if you live in any of these downtown neighborhoods, you can walk to downtown. Kids can walk to the schools. There actually is, in this rural town, this very rural town of only 11,000 people, a walkable community available to you if that's something you would like to have. Let's zoom back out and look at just a little more shopping so you can get a sense for where all of your shopping is going to happen in Placerville. All right, we'll get down here to where we can see Missouri Flat Road. So again, to orient you, here's our downtown Placerville, here's our Marshall Hospital, here's the Home Depot, here's Raley's, and this exit in downtown Placerville, we have the Spring Street and Canal Street exits where you get off in downtown Placerville. And then here, In-N-Out Burger, you're gonna have the Forney Road exit, and your very next exit here is Missouri Flat Road. And this is another shopping district in Placerville. And this has some of our big box retail type of shopping. Of course, you do have another grocery store. If you're not a Raley's fan, Raley's up here. You do have Safeway right here where you can go shop. And in this parking lot, you've also got Jamba Juice, Round Table Pizza, Starbucks coffee, a UPS store, Chipotle, all that stuff is right there. Across the street, you've got Target. There's also a Rite Aid in here, a Chase Bank, a great taqueria right here. And in this area, they're putting in an America's Tires, which isn't open yet, but a Dutch Bros Coffee, which is open. And so that's all in this shopping area just north of the highway, right off of the Missouri Flat exit. Really convenient to anybody that lives over here in any of these downtown neighborhoods. Now there is just a little bit more shopping here on Missouri Flat as well. So we'll kind of scroll south a bit for you and clear that mess out. We also have Walmart right here, and across from Walmart we have another shopping center that has an auto parts store, a McDonald's, another great taqueria. The main pediatricians in town are over here. We have Gold Country Senior Living, which is one of our assisted living areas in town, and we'll go over the other big one when we talk about neighborhoods, which is Eschaton Village. So this is another big shopping area, and it also dips into recreation a little bit. We'll do another whole video on recreation, but right here on Missouri Flat Road, we have access to the Rails to Trails trail here, which you can take all the way down to Forney Road, just east of In-N-Out Burger, and then you can actually take that whole trail system all the way into downtown Placerville by continuing on down the trail from Forney and down into downtown. Now you can take it 10 more miles this way up into Camino, and you can also take it 40 more miles east all the way following the old train tracks down to Folsom. So it's a really extensive Rails to Trails system. This big chunk that I just showed you is all paved. Once you get higher up or lower down, they haven't paved all of it yet, but everything I just showed you is stroller accessible, awesome trail. All right, so that gives you a sense of where you're gonna shop in the Placerville area. Anything beyond that, you're bopping all the way down to Folsom to do. Now let's talk neighborhoods. We'll stay on the zoomed in city map and go through the neighborhoods one by one within the city limits, and then we'll go to that bigger map and show you everything else that encompasses the 95667 zip code. Now to put it into perspective, Placerville has a median home price right now of $500,000. $500,000 is the median right now. The average is about $538,000. I prefer to use the median because the median, of course, is the middle number in the data set, and the average is taking all of the data points, adding them up and dividing by the total number. And so if we have a one-off random best house in Placerville for $3.5 million that sells in that particular month, it swings that average wildly, where the median is going to stay more consistent for you. So that 500,000 median gets you about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just shy of 1,700 square foot home on about a half an acre to an acre. That sort of roots you in what real estate prices are like in Placerville. Now, in these individual smaller neighborhoods I'm going to show you, I couldn't really give you a median or an average for those neighborhoods because it would be statistically irrelevant. The numbers for Placerville that we're basing that median on are 86 sales in the last 6 months. We are a small town. Now these smaller neighborhoods, those are going to be in way smaller numbers in terms of the number of homes that have sold in the last 6 months there, and it wouldn't be worth doing. So for the smaller neighborhoods, I will just give you a sense of these are going to be higher than the median, lower than the median, way higher than the median, way lower than the median, and why, so you can get a sense for those neighborhoods. So let's check out downtown, specifically right here. We'll go just a little bump in, better zoom, so we can talk about a few things. Now, I already mentioned Eschaton, so that's a good place to start. Eschaton Village right here. This is a 55 and over senior living, assisted living neighborhood. Now, the great thing about this is they have homes, individual residences for you to live in when you're still really mobile. And then they do have a central clubhouse facility that you can live in once you need a greater level of care. So Eschaton can actually grow with you over time. And if you want to be sort of within that wrapper, so you have that option, you can start out in your own single family home, totally autonomous within Eschaton. So it's a great resource for our community. All right, now around Eschaton, we have Lumsden Park here, and these neighborhoods in downtown Placerville around Lumsden Park, these are the ones north of Country Club Road here. These ones are going to be a little bit below the Placerville average of median of $500,000. And these are going to be near that Upper Broadway shopping area that we talked about earlier. All right, let's clear that out and we'll talk about the right in downtown proper neighborhoods. So right here in downtown, we have these neighborhoods all right along the edge of Main Street and in and around Rotary Park. And just on the other side of Sacramento Street here, which Sacramento Street is essentially an extension of Highway 49, we have these neighborhoods here. Now, these neighborhoods are all going to be right around to just above the average of 500,000 based on the quality of the home. The benefits to living in these neighborhoods are that you can walk to downtown. You can actually have a walkable community while still living in this really beautiful rural place in the mountains. That's something that I really love about these neighborhoods and that make them very attractive to people coming from out of town. If you're someone moving from San Francisco proper to here, it's a big adjustment to have to get in your car to do anything and everything all day long. And you don't have to make that adjustment if you choose some of these neighborhoods down here. Now, we're also going to take a look at some of the similar neighborhoods just north of the highway, right here. Now, these neighborhoods here north of the highway tend to have some really old, historic, Victorian bungalow style homes. They're really, really cool, really interesting, really cute. They tend to be smaller. They tend to have no garages or maybe a 1 or 2 car old carriage house that needs a lot of shoring up. The neighborhoods tend to be really tight. These are the kind of streets that are, tight and small for a full-size truck, because this was, an 1800s gold rush town when this whole section was built out. But this is some really neat areas of downtown. These areas are going to run a little bit at or below the average of 500,000, and that's usually due to lot size and home size. These tend to be our bungalows, our 1,000, even 800 square feet, up to tops 1,200, 1,500 square feet. They're older homes. A lot of them need some work, and they're on smaller lot sizes. But the historic quality and the unique architecture of them is what draws people to those downtown neighborhoods. All right. Over here, you'll see this Miller Way area. This little neighborhood is actually called Bungalow Terrace. Now, nobody in Placerville really goes around calling it Bungalow Terrace, but I love that name because in that neighborhood, there's a bunch of those little old bungalows, some of them Victorian, and there's even a few craftsman style ones in there that are just such beautiful little homes. So cool over there in that neighborhood. That's what I love about living up here, are these little old houses. All right, now going down Cedar Ravine Road here, mostly around Marshall, we have extended medical stuff and offices, but on the other side of Cedar Ravine Road, we have a bunch of houses. Now, these are again these little old historic houses. There's a creek running down down Cedar Ravine, Hangtown Creek, and so some of these houses have little bridges that you go over to get to the houses. Really cool. But something to note is Cedar Ravine does get pretty trafficky, and when it's trafficky, it can take you a long time to get out of your house and onto the road and out of there if you live directly on Cedar Ravine. Conversely, when it's not trafficky, people tend to be flying down that road, and it also can be a little dicey to back off your little bridge onto the road there. So if you have kids or you have like new teen drivers, that might be a consideration for you in that area of town. Now we're gonna move a little bit more southeast here, and we'll get out by the Lions Park area. So here you have Lions Park. We'll highlight that in yellow for you. And you see Country Club Drive here. And so these neighborhoods, Country Club Drive and up by the Placerville Airport, these have some bigger homes with South County views. Of course, this is South County down here. So this is a ridgetop up here where the airport is. And so you have those South County views. So you can have some really beautiful spots up here. And these homes tend to be going above to well above the average for Placerville. Look, if by the end of this video you still aren't sure if Placerville is for you or which neighborhood will fit your family the best, feel free to reach out to me via the contact information on your screen or in the description down below. I've been selling homes here for nearly 20 years and I've helped hundreds of families just like yours decide where to land in Placerville, and I'm always happy to help. Now back to the map. All right, now we're gonna talk about Texas Hill Estates. So you see Texas Hill Road here, and there's a neighborhood in here called the Texas Hill Estates. It's a really beautiful area. This tends to be homes on larger acreage, tends to be larger homes. They're just over the other side of the ridge. So you have the ridge where the airport is on, and they're just on the downhill side of that, going towards South County. And this is a place that is still really close to downtown where you can get a larger home on acreage. And there's some beautiful homes in there, and that's the pros. The negative to the Texas Hill Estates is that it is a one road in, one road out, heavily treed neighborhood. And so homeowners insurance up here, fire insurance has become an issue. Fire insurance can be quite expensive up here, and I talk about that in a lot of my other videos, so we won't go deep on it here. But Texas Hill, when it comes to living in downtown Placerville area, Texas Hill is gonna have much higher fire rates. Now you combine that with them being larger homes, custom homes, more expensive homes, and a higher fire danger, and your homeowner's insurance can be way, way, way higher here in Texas Hill than it would be here in some of these downtown neighborhoods. So that's just something to consider when it comes to the Texas Hill area. All right, that about does it for downtown Placerville. Now we're going to switch to the bigger map of 95667 and look at some of those neighborhoods for you. So we're going to click over here. Now again, it's a really big geographic area. We'll just do a quick kind of circle on it for you so you can see it come out. That's your big 95667 area. Got a little too big over on this end. There we go. That's your big 95667 area that we're talking about. Now let's drill into some of the neighborhoods. To put it into perspective so you know where we've already talked about, I'll go ahead and outline downtown. So this is the city of Placerville. This little mark is downtown Placerville. Now moving north of there, we have the Cold Springs corridor, heading out towards Coloma and Lotus. Now the Cold Springs Road corridor is a more rural area than downtown. You're gonna have more acreage, usually bigger homes, and these are gonna run a little bit more expensive because of that than the average or than the downtown area. It is a really desirable place to live. Do be advised that Cold Springs Road is a very busy road. Here we have Highway 49, which also takes you out to Coloma and Lotus, all the way out to Pilot Hill and Cool, and going all the way to Auburn. That's Highway 49, and that's one way people get to Coloma and Lotus. But the other way, the way most of the locals do it, is via Cold Springs Road. If anyone's going out to Pilot Hill Cool, most of the locals are going to also take Cold Springs Road. So that area does have a lot of traffic to it. Now, this is rural traffic, so you're not sitting bumper to bumper. It just means a steady flow of cars going by your property if you're close to the road in that Cold Springs corridor. Now just past there, you have the Gold Hill area. Now this has horse ranches, wineries. There's a place, it's not called Graham's Pear Shed anymore, but it's still there. It's an old farm that has a roadside fruit stand where you just stop and there's an honor box. You put in your money, you take the fruit you want. It's amazing. There's wineries out there. There's olive groves out there. It's just a very beautiful agrarian area, and it tends to come with big acreage, big, beautiful custom houses. And as such, the Gold Hill area is going to carry one of the highest price points within the 95667 zip code. In fact, Gold Hill and Greenstone Country, which we're going to talk about in a minute, are going to be two of your more expensive areas within the 95667, and that's because that big acreage, big views, big houses. It's just a beautiful area to be, very similar to Coloma and Lotus out here. Now, Coloma and Lotus are actually their own places, their own zip codes, so we're not going to go over them in this video. You can look at my full map tour of El Dorado County to go over them, and I'll also be doing a specific video on those for you. But Gold Hill here, very desirable area. It's going to take you just about 10 minutes north of Placerville to get there. So you're about 10 minutes out of town, about 10 minutes off of Highway 50. And you're going to get much bigger houses, much bigger acreage. So if that's your jam, if that's what you're looking for, Gold Hill is a great place to go ahead and check out. Now, we mentioned Greenstone, so we'll go ahead and talk about that now. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit to give you a better sense of where Greenstone is. We zoom in just one more bump. There we go. Now you can see in here the Greenstone Country Barn. So the Greenstone Country Barn, that's in the middle of Greenstone Country. Greenstone Country goes about like this. Now, to put this into perspective of some things we've already talked about, here is Missouri Flat, that shopping area. Here is Walmart, Safeway, Target. Here is downtown Placerville. Here's the Home Depot, and here's the Rayleigh's area. And here's that Cold Springs Road, Cold Springs area we were just talking about going out to Gold Hill. So this Greenstone Country, this is a gated subdivision, a lot of equestrian trails, barns where you can board your horses. These are, there's a couple of lakes in there, as you can see. And these are all areas where you've got bigger houses on bigger acreage, custom homes, fencing, cross fencing, barns, run-in sheds, horse infrastructure, all of that. So as such, Greenstone is going to run way, way above that $500,000 median home price for the area. But if you want a gated community, if you want an equestrian community, if you want just a quieter, lower traffic area because of the gates, but you still want acreage and a large home, Greenstone Country is a great place to look. And that's going to be right up there with Gold Hill in terms of some of our highest price points in the 95667. All right, that covers Greenstone. We're going to zoom back out for you. And we're just going to cover 2 more areas to give you a sense of this place. So up here, this is the Smith Flat area. Now, the Smith Flat area is just east and slightly north of downtown Placerville, heading towards Camino. This is getting towards the edge of Placerville, heading up towards Camino. And this area has some homes that are going to be right at or even lower than the average for the area, because again, there's some smaller homes on smaller lots up there, but you are really close to Camino there. You are really close access to that rails to trails system. The Jakeway Road entrance to the rails to trails system is right up there in the Smith Flat area. There is the Smith Flat house up there with great restaurants. And so it is another really cool little area, just one bump outside of downtown Placerville that you can look at. Now, as we go south, we haven't talked about south too much. We'll kind of zoom south here so you can get a sense. Now, outside of the zip code, just to give you an idea, Diamond Springs outside of the zip code, El Dorado outside of the zip code. These are not 95667 areas, but you can go all the way South County down Bucks Bar Road, all the way out here, or down Pleasant Valley area, all the way to the edge of Somerset here. And this whole South County area is still the 95667. All of this in here, still 95667. Now, Pleasant Valley area along Pleasant Valley Road. This is going to run a little bit above the average of 500,000, or median, pardon me again, the median of 500,000 for the area. And that's because, again, this is bigger acreage country. Now, it's all based off of Pleasant Valley Road. And you should know, if your property fronts Pleasant Valley Road, people drive highway speeds on Pleasant Valley Road. So that is something to consider if you're right on Pleasant Valley Road. If you're a little deeper off the road, it's not a problem. But these are going to be bigger acreage areas, bigger home areas, and still not that far out. Anywhere in here, you're going to be as close as 10 minutes to downtown Placerville, and as far as 20-25 minutes if you get deep out into some of these areas. And this goes as far south, like I said, as Somerset. The closer you get to Somerset, the lower the property values are gonna go. So you can get, in this zone, some bigger acreage properties for lower money because you're further out from town. Once you get to the Somerset line here, it'll take you 45 minutes to get to town, to Highway 50, and then from there another 45 minutes down to downtown Sacramento. So that's a little ways out, and that's why the property values dip in that area. Hey, if you've made it this far and you're getting anything at all out of this video, hit the like button, click subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss another video with crucial information to help you with your relocation to El Dorado County. One last area to take a look at, and then we'll wrap up Placerville, is going to be the Newtown Road and Fort Jim area. Scroll back up here. We'll grab another color for you, and we'll dive into that. Just to orient you again, downtown Placerville over here, Lumsden Park, Lions Park, Placerville Airport, some things we've already talked about there, so you get a sense of it. Now, just on the east edge of town, past that Smith Flat area even, is Newtown Road and Fort Jim Road. Now, this area again is a little bit mixed. You're going to have below and above the median home value for the area there, because there are some smaller homes tucked in, but the majority of them are going to be bigger homes on acreage and fall above that median home price for the area. This is a heavily treed, heavily forested, deep in the pine trees. Some of these places can be pretty dark during the day and not see a lot of light because of how deep in the pine trees they are, area of Placerville, but it's also a beautiful area where you get big acreage. So if you're looking to be more in the pine trees and deep in the forest, this is going to be your jam right here. And it goes all the way out to Pleasant Valley. And again, just like anything else, the closer you are to the freeway up here, the higher the price points are going to be, and the closer you are to Pleasant Valley Road in South County, the lower the price points are going to be. In general, of course, subject to the size and acreage of the home. Now, our final thing to do is give you a sense of where all of this is compared to the airport, downtown Sacramento, some other things you might want to access. So we'll go ahead and zoom out, show you that. So here we go. We'll move this over, grab our yellow again. So here again is the entire 95667 zip code area. Here is the city area of Placerville. Here is Sacramento International Airport. Here is downtown Sacramento. And then of course, here is the edge of the county at El Dorado Hills. Here's Folsom. So that gives you a sense of where you are. If you're in this downtown area of Placerville, you're looking about 45 minutes to downtown Sacramento without too much traffic, and about an hour out to the airport without too much traffic. If you're at the eastern or western edge, pardon me, of the county at El Dorado Hills, you can get down to the airport maybe 35 minutes. You'll be in downtown in 25 minutes. So a lot closer. So that gives you a sense of where you are in relation to the airport and to everything in downtown. If you need to have a day or a night out in the city, you're not too far away. All right, that wraps up our tour of Placerville. And I hope this full map tour has given you a sense of the place so you can kind of figure out what it's like to live there and what neighborhoods and areas you might be interested in. Now, if you want to do a deeper dive into the Placerville area, you can click this video right here for the pros and cons of living in Placerville. Or you can click this video right here about why I personally will never leave the Placerville area. Or if you're not still sure if Placerville is the right place for you, then go ahead and click this video right here that will compare Placerville to other towns in the area in a head-to-head town versus town battle. As always, thank you for making it to the end with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.